Senator Cruz came out today and said that he thought we should have police patrols in Muslim neighborhoods in the United States.
I'm okay with it, all right? I'm okay. We have to be vigilant. We have to be careful.
I would remind the senator he lives in the United States of America. And the statements he made today is why he's not going to become president of this country, because we don't need a president that doesn't respect the values that form the foundation of this country.
Joining us now, Nasser Wadadi, an expert on ISIS and youth radicalization. Also with us here in New York, MALCOM NANCE, former counterterrorism intelligence officer and an MSNBC contributor. He actually ran the waterboarding program for the U.S. Navy and has been waterboarded himself as part of that training. We're going to get to the torture discussion, Malcolm, which Donald Trump also threw into the reaction to what's happened in Brussels. But your reaction to this notion of patrolling and securing, as Ted Cruz said, Muslim neighborhoods?
Well, it's absolutely ludicrous. I mean, there is a shameful legacy in the United States of having done this before. I mean, we used to have the slave patrols, which would go around and try to round up slaves and keep people in line on plantations. We had my great-great-grandfather was a Buffalo soldier who served out of Fort Sill, Oklahoma. He would go on Indian patrols in order to keep Indians that were put onto reservations on reservations. And we rounded up the Japanese during World War II. These are things which should never, ever be mentioned again in American history as a viable plan. It's never going to happen. He must have watched that old movie, The Siege, you know, where he thought that he could hole up an entire Muslim community. But what's he going to do? There's 6,000 U.S. service members fighting, you know, in the armed forces now. Is he going to, you know, is he going to consider them part of the enemy force? We do not have a Gestapo. We do not have a Stasi. No one is going to carry out this operation, and it's shameful that it was even said.
Nasser Wadadi, so let's just imagine for a moment the Muslim patrol car driving down the street in some American city or town. What would Ted Cruz tell the officers to look for?
Thank you for having me, Lawrence. That is an excellent question that highlights how ludicrous this idea is to begin with, because Muslims happen to come in all shapes and colors. They are white, they are brown, they are black. They come from all different backgrounds. For example, in my hometown in Boston, if you want to go and patrol the Muslim neighborhood, you'll be patrolling Bosnian neighborhood where people are white and have blue eyes, and then many times are blonde. It's this idea, just like for me, what I find outrageous is that for him to say these things, knowing that he's saying them to cater to a certain, like the most vile elements in American society. And it would be even scarier if he actually believes these things. So with Ted Cruz, I'm not quite sure whether he believes these things or he's just using them to whip up hate.
And, you know, Malcolm, Hillary Clinton said something today in her foreign policy speech, in her reaction speech to what happened in Brussels, that was strangely close to the language that Ted Cruz used. We don't have it here right now, but she said something about we need to target the hot spots, and included in that sentence was neighborhoods. And it begs the follow-up question of what Muslim neighborhoods, what exactly did you mean by that? And it may be one of those speeches that was kind of written by committee and these awkward words got into that sentence, but it was very unclear what she meant by that.
Well, the question is, where was she talking about? Was she talking about the United States? Was she talking about in Europe? Was she talking about in Raqqa, Syria, the ISIS headquarters? You know, we have to be very careful about this. And we don't have to be very careful about this as a matter of political correctness. We have to be careful about this as a matter of defending and keeping safe our brothers and sisters who are fighting in the armed forces right now, our children, our relatives who are deployed overseas. We have had a spate of what we call blue on green attacks, where members of the Afghan army turned on their U.S. allies and just killed them. We don't know what caused those. I can't say whether they were members of the Taliban, but certainly if you create an atmosphere where hateful rhetoric is now imbued and transmitted throughout the Muslim world, you're going to get individual incidents like this, and you may get less cooperation in operations where we really need their support to kill terrorists who deserve to be killed.
Just to be clear, Hillary Clinton condemned what Ted Cruz had to say about these patrols and stood firmly with her local police department, which is the NYPD. I was just referring to one small line in her speech today. Things did get a little bit worse. Donald Trump has introduced the concept of maybe nuclear weapons in the Middle East. Let's listen to this.
You would rule in the possibility of using nuclear weapons against ISIS.
Well, I'm never going to rule anything out.
Right.
And I wouldn't want to say, even if I felt it wasn't going, I wouldn't want to tell you that.
Right.
Because at a minimum, I want them to think maybe we would use it, okay?
Right.
It's the worst thing when we do these interviews with everybody, not me.
Yeah.
And you ask a question like that, and everybody comes clean and they're so honest. You know, we need unpredictability.
Nasser Wadadi, how would the region greet a President Trump? Here you have Iran entering a deal not to develop nuclear weapons. You have Pakistan that does possess nuclear weapons. What would the reaction be to an American president who says, yeah, I just might use nuclear weapons in the region?
Well, the reactions already in the region are quite interesting. Donald Trump is being greeted with a lot of derision and laughter. No one takes him seriously because a lot of people, the refrain that I've been hearing is that, gee, Donald Trump is saying all of these things. He, after all, doesn't sound very different from a Gaddafi or a Saddam Hussein. He sounds like the tin-pot dictators we have over here. We cannot believe that the American people can choose someone like Donald Trump to be their president. And I get oftentimes besieged by this question, and it's mind-boggling to me that even people like Ted Cruz and Donald Trump with their ridiculous propositions can be even anywhere near the presidency. And now let me share with you something going back to Cruz's insane comments about patrolling Muslim neighborhoods. Look, I came to this country in the year of 2000, very much like Ted Cruz's father, fleeing for my life. And I did not come to the United States because I was looking for the newest 18-inch TV screen. I came to the United States because I read the Constitution of the United States, and I came for the promise of liberty, equality, rule of law, all the things that are not available in the Arab world, all of the things that are make America stand and different from these places. So for me to hear this, yes, I'm a proud American Muslim, and I cannot reason or even begin to take any of this seriously. And frankly, many things crossed my mind when I first heard the comments. Some of them I could not say on live TV, but what I can say is that the gut reaction is like, get lost, you idiot.
Malcolm, quickly before we go, Donald Trump wants torture. He wants to get it legalized. Of course, Congress will never be able to pass any kind of legalization of waterboarding or anything like that. But in Donald Trump's world, he would like to be able to waterboard and torture at will.
Waterboarding does not work. Torture does not work. We have an entire system of schools.
Wait a minute. Donald Trump's an expert on this, and he says it does. He says it works.
Well, you know, if he'd like me to waterboard him, you know, I may be convinced of that just to show him that it absolutely doesn't work. We have a system of schools which train this, which the first slide in the resistance training course is torture does not work. It is a form of sadism. And we're going to teach you what to do to defeat the enemy when they try to do this. You know, the honor of the United States is at stake here. We are, again, obviously in a crisis of honor. General George Washington himself set the standard for the United States Armed Forces in the treatment of prisoners, and I don't think he should be overridden at any time.
Nasser Wadadi, Malcolm Nance, thank you both for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it.
Our pleasure.
Thank you for having me, Lawrence.